Let's begin with a news break coming in on wrestlers, one after another continuing their protest over the appointment of Brij Bhushan's aide as the Wrestling Federation of India chief. After Sakshi Malik quite literally hung up her boots yesterday and broke down as she announced she's retiring from wrestling, now you have Bajrang Punia also in a form of protest resorting to award Vapsi. He's decided that he's going to return his Padma Shri and has even shot off a letter to Prime Minister Modi on the same. Remember that Bajrang Punia was someone who was also a part of the protest. Punia, in his letter to the Prime Minister, has highlighted the difficulties that these wrestlers have been facing, saying that we've cried all night, we have no idea what to do, and that's why we're taking this step. This comes after Brij Bhushan's aide was in fact elected as the Wrestling Federation of India boss, leading to the likes of Sakshi Malik and Bajrang Punia, who remember also staged the dramatic protest in Jantar Mantar, going ahead with their next form of dharna. Sakshi Malik has announced she's retiring from wrestling and broke down. And now today you have Bajrang Punia returning his Padma Shri and shooting off a letter to the Prime Minister saying we feel absolutely helpless, we feel completely let down. Remember that Brij Bhushan, who you see on the left of your screens, they're celebrating his aide's win, and note the fact that there are perhaps more celebration of Brij Bhushan than the aide who's won. He said that there was a fair election that took place, and so these wrestlers, for all they want, can protest, but nothing can change the fact that there were elections that were held as they demanded. I want to play out for you what Bajrang Punia has said.
ये मेडल लेके मैं जी के करना भी चाहिए। जब ये दिन को देखते तो वो चुभते हैं कि भाई ये किस लिए सम्मान हमें मिला था। जब हम बहन बेटियों के लिए लड़े उसमें हम सफल नहीं हो पाए, तो सम्मान का मुझे लगता है मैं हकदार नहीं हूँ सम्मान का। ये मेडल
So that's the reaction that's come in from Bajrang Punia, who's now returned his Padma Shri. I want to bring in Milind Sharma on this broadcast. Milind, Sakshi Malik first going ahead and retiring from wrestling, saying she doesn't know what else to do. Now you have Bajrang Punia returning his Padma Shri. Wrestlers, the ones of course who are part of the Jantar Mantar stir, once again upping the ante. What's their demand now? Are they saying that the government must intervene in this, considering that elections were held and you had, unfortunately, Brij Bhushan's aide winning? What really do they want the next step to be here?
Well, Akshita, the fact that Sakshi Malik literally hung her boots, wrestling boots yesterday, and now Bajrang Punia, the only Indian to have won 4 international wrestling championship medals, has come all the way to the PMO and said that I will return the highest honor the country has awarded him, the Padma Shri, speaks of the fact that the wrestlers are completely distraught at the election of Sanjay Singh, who is now known as the close aide of Brij Bhushan Saran Singh. And when it comes to what next, we asked Bajrang Punia that whether, all the wrestlers are once again going to get together and stage a protest. He said, what's the point of protesting when the government has not really been able to provide that voice of justice to these wrestlers? Because when Sanjay Singh is elected by a landslide margin of 40 votes out of 50, and, Anita does get around 7 votes and 3 are other votes, but the fact remains that the wrestlers completely distraught at this moment. Yesterday we saw Sakshi Malik break down, and today Bajrang Punia as well, who was not allowed to go all the way to the PMO, has left his medal, the Padma Shri, and that has been taken by the Delhi police. Of course, there was resistance. He was trying to say that I was in the fight not for politics as being alleged by a lot of people, but for the fight of justice for these wrestling women. And if the same thing is going to happen again, then these players really have nowhere to go, and they have decided to give up whatever they have put their blood and sweat into action.
Okay, unfortunate developments this, but largely those who back Brij Bhushan are saying that, look, elections were held fair and square, his aide has won, so there's nothing really that can be done. But that's the exact same argument that these wrestlers are putting forth, saying we feel absolutely helpless with this development. Thanks very much, Milind, for getting us all of the latest on that big news break. Wrestlers who've been part of the Jantar Mantar stir against Brij Bhushan now upping the ante against his aide, who's won the WFI chief position.